So, let's talk about Stoicism. It's this ancient, really profound philosophy that's suddenly everywhere, right? But here's the thing. In its big comeback, has it been totally hijacked? Are people using it to turn themselves into, I don't know, a robot with the emotional range of a brick? Yeah, let's get into it.
And I'm asking that seriously. Because if you scroll through social media, a lot of what's being called Stoicism looks less like a path to becoming a virtuous, resilient person, and a whole lot more like an excuse to just shut down everything that makes us human.
To really see where this popular version of Stoicism goes off the rails, we're going to look at a few of the biggest myths. And to do that, we're going to follow a little case study. Someone who's trying their absolute best to live by these new, kind of warped rules.
Let's meet Alex. Now, Alex is a great guy. He's driven, he wants to be better, and he just found Stoicism. The only problem? He's latched on to some of the most common, misunderstood ideas out there, and, well, it's turning him into a bit of a robot.
So this brings us right to the first, and probably the biggest myth of modern Stoicism. The whole idea that to be a Stoic, you have to be an emotionless robot.
And Alex, he genuinely believes this. I mean, if he cracks up at a funny video or feels that little pang of sadness when he hears bad news, he actually sees that as a personal failure. He is actively trying to crush every natural feeling he has, all in the name of logic.
But here's the thing. That was never the goal. The actual ancient Stoics knew you couldn't just flip a switch and turn off your feelings. Their whole point wasn't to eliminate emotions, but to manage them, to be able to notice what you're feeling without letting it take over the driver's seat. You know, it's the difference between feeling angry and letting that anger make you fire off a text you'll definitely regret later. Okay, so that whole misunderstanding about emotions, it leads us straight into our second myth, which I kind of like to call the Misery Olympics. This is the idea that Stoicism is just a competition to see who can put up with the most self-inflicted pain. And you can see this in Alex's new morning routine. We're talking 5 a.m. alarms, ice-cold showers, not for any real benefit, but just because they're difficult. He hates every second of it, but he does it because he thinks enduring misery is the point. He's basically training for a disaster that isn't even happening, and in the process, he's just making his actual day-to-day life worse. And this gets to a really crucial Stoic idea that gets totally twisted: preferred indifference. And you gotta hear that first word, preferred. The ancient Stoics were not masochists. They absolutely enjoyed good things. You know, being healthy, warm, having a nice meal. They just trained themselves not to have a total meltdown if those things were suddenly gone.
You see, the point isn't to fall in love with being miserable, it's to not be destroyed by life when good things disappear. You don't get a gold medal in the Misery Olympics for taking a cold shower you didn't need to. The real prize is having the resilience to handle it when the hot water heater actually breaks.
Okay, on to our third myth. This is where all these misunderstandings start to build into something, well, something genuinely harmful. This is where Stoicism gets weaponized into an excuse to be cold, unempathetic, and, let's be honest, kind of a jerk. And here is Alex in full logical jerk mode. His friend is going through a terrible breakup. And what does Alex offer? Not comfort, not a shoulder to cry on, but a lecture. He literally tells his friend that his pain is illogical because it's about an external he can't control. Now, is he technically correct? Maybe. Is he being completely unhelpful and unkind? Absolutely.
And here's why that interpretation is just so wrong. Stoicism was always, at its core, a deeply social philosophy. Its highest virtues weren't about logic, they were about justice, kindness, and your duty to the people around you. I mean, get this, Marcus Aurelius, the ultimate poster boy for Stoicism, literally wrote that we exist to help each other.
So the goal isn't to become a logic robot who lectures your friends while they're crying. The goal is to use that inner calm, that resilience you've built, to become the steady, dependable rock that your friends can actually lean on. You know, sometimes the most stoic thing you can possibly do is just shut up and listen.
So, if it's not about being an emotionless, miserable robot, what is the real goal here? What is Stoicism actually all about? Let's put all the pieces together.
Real Stoicism, the good stuff, is a toolkit for becoming a better, more effective human being. It's about building resilience so you can actually handle what life throws at you. It's about managing your emotions, not deleting them. And, maybe most importantly, it's a social philosophy. It's designed to help you be more virtuous, more kind, and a truly supportive person for the people in your life. So the next time you think about these ideas, just ask yourself this one question.
Are you using this philosophy to become a calm, steady rock for the people you care about? Or are you just using it as an instruction manual to become a robot? Because that answer, that makes all the difference in the world.